Hello, Andy.
Hey, Bambos.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
So
It is cool.
it it is very cool. So what do we have on the menu today?
What do we have on the menu today? Today, we've got Ric Toldon. Now, Ric Toldon, you know, I have a sordid past, as you know, right?
Yeah.
I've got like weird friends in weird places. So this whole wonderful chaos has been an incredible opportunity to invite those people on. And you're probably wondering, how do you make friends with so many strange, weird people? But this is
I'm
going
actually not wondering. You're friends with me. That's enough.
So right now we're going to be welcoming Ric Toldon, a jazz. He wouldn't call himself jazz. He's a musician. He's a life artist, is the way where it is, and we're going to welcome him to
A wonderful chaos.
So we have Ric Toldon. Now, Ric Toldon is someone I met in Vienna. I lived in Vienna, Austria for, I guess, 10 years of my life. And, it's always interesting because when you're a foreigner, like everyone that's also a foreigner becomes sort of somebody you're friends with. So Rick was like this crazy ass black guy that if I was living in America, there's no way we would have hung out. I mean, just no way. I would have seen him on the streets. He would have been out with all of these people that probably were in jail or going to be taking drugs or something. And there's just no way we would have ever found one another. But we're on an island, and the island is called Vienna. And if you want to talk about an emotionally shut down place, Vienna is pretty high up there on the list of places that it feels a bit like an outdoor prison.
Wow.
Yeah. So we met each other, actually just became dear friends, and we just kept in contact through the years.
Like, how did you meet? Like, you saw me, you went up to him.
Well, we'll get into that. I met him through a mutual friend who I actually saw taking a train. He looked like an American, another black fellow. I said, "You looking for a job?" And then I hired him, and we worked together in my in the company I was in. So we kind of met through him. He was also a musician, great saxophone player, as far as I was concerned. I'd be curious to hear. He'll certainly be watching. I know that. So Rick will have to trash talk him a bit, just a little bit. Rob Cooper was his name, by the way, just for those watching in the future. He's kind of an upstanding citizen. He's the contrary to Rick in some ways. So we're going to get into that. But before we do that, what I'd love to do is, so Rick, he kind of embodies the character type for me. And that character type is this free flowing, easygoing, like just in the moment, enjoying life kind of guy. So even getting him on the show, I wasn't quite sure because I thought, oh shit, can he dedicate to
Can he show up?
Can he show up? Can he dedicate to an hour like a week from now? Is that going to be possible? Will he get the technology to work? And I thought it would be cool to start with a video that was basically created on one of his projects. And one thing he has been doing a lot of is he's been doing a lot of covers of Jimi Hendrix, he also knew Jimi Hendrix, which is kind of cool. And we'll get into that as well. So we're going to watch a bit of him doing a cover of Jimi Hendrix. And I'll put him on right now, and we'll see how that works out. Yeah.
I was walking down the street the other day, minding my own business. And this really, 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 really beautiful woman walked up on me and asked me for some directions. And from then on, it's been like this. You got me running like a runaway train. Your love so strong, it's going straight to my brain. I got to have you every chance I get. You got me going, baby, I can't quit. You know I wanna take you home, yeah. I won't do you no harm, girl, no. I want you to be all mine, yeah. Foxy lady. I know you are a sweet little love maker. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I know sometimes you can be a heartbreaker, but that's all right. Foxy lady, I see you hanging out on the scene, looking so good and looking so damn clean. You got me eating out of the palm of your hand. Can I please be your man? Foxy lady.
I sorry, I could listen to this all damn day long, and I mean, it's 6 minutes song, and I think I could go through each one, and we'll never have a chance to talk to him.
I'm okay with that.
Because I would listen to this. I mean, the covers of the Little Wing, and just and who knows? I guess, or I don't know, even the names of these things.
I didn't realize actually that you left us in the corner of the screen.
Oh,
I thought you were just shaking and having fun. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I dropped you in. I actually dropped Rick in as well. I didn't even know he came in. I said, let's all enjoy it together. Why are we sitting here acting as if we're not enjoying the hell out of this? So basically what I'd say we do is that without further ado, we've only got
bring him on.
an hour with this guy. Let's like bring him on and not watch him on a video. Like that's what we want. In the flesh, Ric Toldon. Is your audio? I turned your audio off, by the way, because I was worried you were going to talk during your video. Now I hear you. Sorry. Come back again.
Okay. No, it's the same thing. What's up, y'all?
Hey, man. Great to see you.
Great to see you, man.
You know, when
Last
I asked,
time was too short.
when I asked you to come on, you said, "What the hell are we going to talk about?" And I thought, actually, what is there not to talk about?
Homeboy was asking how we met.
Yes. How did we meet? Let's get into that immediately.
It was Rob Cooper's fault.
Yep.
The
Jupiter.
saxophone player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rob Cooper. He was a very proper person. Let's put it that way.
Very proper. That's a funny way of putting it.
Yeah, how would you describe Rob to him, as he's certainly going to watch this without a doubt, right?
Just
big
a
time.
regular homie, man.
He's a regular homie. Yeah, he's not smoking every day. He's not just
every other day, you know.
He's got a real job still. Let's play it on let's make sure that we keep him employed. Okay.
I have a real job.
What's your real job right now? What are you doing for livelihood?
I'm collecting my pension from Austria and from America. That's
really?
work these days. That's
You get
hard
two
work,
pensions.
How old are you?
72.
No.
Yes, he's 72.
You're 72.
Yes.
Yes.
Bam.
72 years old, young. Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what keeps him young?
His wife?
Well, that as well, obviously. Well, we can ask him, but at least he's got 7 different kids from 6 different women. So he's kept himself busy as far as I'm concerned. But he wants to tell me over and over again he's not a playboy.
Never was a playboy.
No, because each relationship was 6 or 7 years at least.
No, one was 15 months, but no kids.
Okay.
One was 2 years, 1 kid. One was 10 years, 2 kids.
Beautiful.
One was 8 years, 1 kid. You know, it varies, you know.
Yeah.
It would be
First
so
you
much
don't
fun to have a
succeed.
family picture together.
Yeah. Do you have any pictures with all the kids?
Oh, yeah, right here. Wait a minute.
Yeah, please. Let's see that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Let me get you a good look. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
This is can you see my finger right there? Wait a minute.
No.
No. Now I see. Yeah, of course.
That's all 7 of them.
All
Wow.
7 of them. Wow.
Yeah.
And when was the first time all of them met? Like when was
At
it the
this
time?
wedding, at that picture right there
Uh-huh.
was Sierra's wedding, my oldest daughter.
Okay.
And
And your oldest daughter is 1 year older than me.
Wait a minute, you're 50, right?
I'll be 50 in a week or a month or
No,
something. like
my oldest son is 51.
that. Okay, your oldest son. Got it. Wow. Interesting.
But yeah, they all came together for the first time, all 7 of them, on Sierra's wedding.
Amazing. And was it weird? Because I mean, all of them obviously from different mothers coming together. How was it for them all to meet?
they knew each other on and off, except the two over here, but the ones over there, they all had their little, you know.
Yeah, I'd love to hear their notes.
But they all didn't come to the wedding. That's the thing, you know.
Okay, that's funny. I have so many questions for you. You know, I did the math because I was walking with Ronnie on the road and said, how old was I when you were together with Jimi Hendrix? And I realized I wasn't old because I wasn't born yet. It was 1969. You were at Woodstock. And
I was at Woodstock.
Like the fact that you were at Woodstock and you kind of have that as an experience in your life is just remarkable.
I would say.
Can you tell me what was it like when Jimi Hendrix was playing the national anthem? The mud's there, everyone's leaving, and you're watching this. Like, and at that time, you wouldn't have known that this would become one of the most iconic moments in that generation.
There's a video called what is it, baby? Director's Cut. What's the Weekend of Love? Anyway, it's the Director's Cut. Whatever, Woodstock.
Yeah.
And I saw myself.
Oh, really?
In the crowd, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Yeah. Do you remember anything from that time, or were you just stoned off your
was
gorge?
Stoned out of my mind. Didn't take any of the brown acid. I remember everybody that I came there to see.
Okay.
I came there because Canned Heat, those are homeboys. Sly and the Family Stone, of course, Jimmy, and I was awake and aware for their sets.
So basically, you said I can turn off between, but when I want to see him, I'm going to be ready to see him.
I mean, I had the program. I knew who they were going to be.
What was the most memorable one of all of them? What you say, wow, that's something that like you'll remember.
It was just the whole thing, man. Going there, we hitchhiked there, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird because I haven't heard the word Woodstock forever, and the generation in these days, like I don't even know if they even know what fucking Woodstock is.
Is that right? Like Woodstock, compared to anything that's going on today, was it was like the precipitator to everything else. Like anyone who was trying to do something today, there's so many rules and regulations that I don't know how many people died at Woodstock. I mean, the whole thing was anarchy. You know, it was a park that was just taken over. It
was yeah. Altamont was much worse.
What was?
Altamont Speedway, when the Rolling Stones, they threw the dead guy up on the stage, the Rolling Stones.
I didn't know about this one, no.
Oh, come on. You didn't know about Altamont Speedway Road? Oh,
no.
That was the West Coast answer to Woodstock.
Oh, is that right?
Somebody must have asked the wrong question. Yeah, it was the Hells Angels were security for this concert.
Oh, no.
And they ended up killing this guy and throwing him on stage while the Rolling Stones were playing.
Oh, no.
And I was right there. I saw it all.
Oh. See, now there's so many rules and regulations that it's hard to actually have these, not that you want that experience, but I mean, everything is pretty tame nowadays, you know, when it comes to like managing crowds and things.
Well, I mean, Woodstock was pretty well organized.
Yeah.
I mean, there was toilets and people somehow got food and whatever.
Okay.
And it was, I didn't see any fights, that's for sure.
I thought there was like people getting electrocuted because the water was so damp in the ground, and the electrical cords going to all the stuff was.
Didn't get me.
You were also a musician in those days, or not?
Yeah. And
did you get an opportunity to actually jam with some of the greats?
Oh yeah. I got to jam with Lou Rawls when I was fresh out of high school. It's my Lou Rawls story. Like every year back in the day, they used to have this really big jazz festivals in Berkeley, right? Berkeley Jazz Festival. And so this year, Lou Rawls came with his band. And like on the Sunday after the regular concerts in the afternoon, some star usually gives a seminar. And so Lou Rawls was giving a blues seminar. So me working at Cal in the music department, you know, I'm hanging out just there because, you know, I can, right? his drummer don't show up. His drummer is sick. So my director says, "Hey, Rick, you want to play with Lou Rawls? You know, he's doing the seminar upstairs." And I said, "Sure, hell yeah." I was 18, right? Who's going to say no? I go up there. I hello, Lou Rawls, you know, meet you, man. This whole bit. I'm back there. He said, "We're going to do Muddy Water," right? So he counts off 1, 2, 3, and I hit it. And we're jamming.
Uh-huh.
We do about half of the intro, and he turns around and says, "Pick it up, pick it up."
Uh-huh.
And so I do a little feel, and I pick it up, and we jamming. Me and the bass players, you know, and he turned around again and said, "Pick it up, pick it up." And I picked it up, and now we're gone, right? I ran up, and he turned around and said, "Come on, bro, pick it up." And I said, "Pick it up your motherfucking self." And I walked off.
Like what I'm also just enjoying is watching you, like as a human being. Like I love the way you put yourself together, how you manifest in terms of a physical expression.
Thank you.
Yeah, he actually had he took a screw. This, as long as I knew him, he always had a screw in his ear.
Oh, this one right here?
Yeah, the screw.
It looked like a tunnel.
Yeah, no, it was just a screw because that's what he likes to do.
Obviously.
So now you're settled. You're with this wonderful woman that we met before
For
we came
20
live.
years.
20 years.
20 years. So this has
Yeah.
been the longest commitment. And what do you like? What brings you guys together? Because
We
she
have
looks
the same
she looks very
interests.
sane.
She's crazy. Looks can deceive. She has to be crazy to be with me. No, she's a musician,
Violin.
number one, and we have the same interests. And she doesn't want any kids. I certainly don't need any more. And yeah, it's just about me and her.
Nice.
Sweet. And now you're in quarantine together.
Yeah, it's so cool because it's
Yeah, because
like
she doesn't go to the office then.
the office is the other room.
So she also works in an office as well as a musician.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I don't know if there's any musician that doesn't also work in an office.
There's lots of us.
Like when you asked that, I was like, "Are you serious?"
No, I mean it's such a damn hard gig. I mean anyone that's working, it's hard to make enough money to like. One of the first things I ask an artist when I meet him is like, "Can you survive from this?" And if they say yes, I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm standing near greatness at the moment." Like the fact that you figured out how to live from your passion is just incredible.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, look at you.
I'm a bullshit artist.
Exactly. You're great at it. You do what you love to do.
Yeah. You knew me when the best thing was that when we met, like I was really strongly identified with trying to get this business thing and working at the computer company. And there was very much more of a achievement desire in me.
Mm.
Yeah. So, I mean, we hadn't talked in so many years. In fact, the first time we met again was maybe 7-8 months ago, I think. I don't know when that
December.
It was in December.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the thing is it's kind of interesting just to even ask you, if at all, how did you experience me differently then compared to like when we were together, say, whatever it would have been even 10 years prior to that, right? Like, what would you say?
Wow.
What was different in how we would have interacted or how you would have experienced?
Well, that's the thing. How we interacted like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You were this crazy motherfucker who liked to show movies on the big screen on the wall and shit.
Really?
I met you, it was about Sunday night movie night, right?
Every Sunday night was a movie night. Every Sunday night.
He still has a big screen, but I didn't realize it was a thing.
Oh, it was a thing
Yeah.
because he had the hookup, right?
I had the hookup, had the big screen before the things were cheap. So to get a big screen was a big deal.
Trending, he had the hookup, and it was like, okay, Rob, who is this guy? He said, that's Andy, man. He's, he's a homeboy. I said, what? He said, Sherman Oaks, man. I'm like,
We both from the
Cali
same
in the house.
He wasn't from this. You were from Oakland, right? Is that right? Or
Yeah, yeah.
so he was from Northern Cal, right? Which is basically the hub of all of the kind of peace love in the '60s. And then, but he came down to my side of town to have a
No,
proper job for a
yeah,
while.
right. But
Like,
when I left the Bay Area, I went to Pasadena in LA County. So I was
yeah,
hanging out, and I got this proper job in Sherman Oaks. I was
which is where I
wearing a
went to school.
three-piece suit, no hair on my face, no hair on my head,
I want to see those pictures.
reading a Wall Street. There are none, bro.
I want to see those pictures.
There are none.
To document this moment that actually is so surreal.
There
Like,
are,
I'm quite curious to hear about you and your parents. Like, what I'm witnessing right now is this really cool guy. He's smoking. He's like having a really cool life, and I want
okay,
to dig a little bit deeper. And
picture of my parents now. See that right there in the middle
Yeah.
yeah, with the
with
three
the three
kids.
kids? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the baby.
Oh,
That's my
wow.
mom and my pop, right?
Oh wow, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so
So
they're both from Texas, right? And being how up until 67 or 8, it was against the law for blacks and whites to marry in Texas. Not that my mother's white, she's mostly Indian, but they had to leave Texas. Yeah, that's why we ended up in Washington State when I was born.
So
But
they
yeah.
had to leave. So was
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
that a big issue? Like when you were growing up, because you were in the middle of all the black rights. That was
Yeah.
you would have been in the heat of that.
The first thing I saw on television, I think I was 5 or 6. My first images on TV, right? When we got a TV, was freedom marchers getting beaten up by this guy who had an American flag, and he was beating these brothers over the head, chasing them down the street. And the police were standing on the sidewalk going, that was the first thing I saw on TV, man.
At 5.
At 5. And
Did you-
moms and pops gave us the 411 from day one about what's going on in America. So it was never a question for me.
And did you experience it firsthand in the U.S. when you were there? Or how did you experience it? Of course, it was always there. The question is how.
Yeah, you know how. Motherfucker
Okay.
call you something stupid, you beat him up and move
Yeah.
on.
But it wasn't anything. I could imagine it's so ingrained in the U.S. that it's not like it isn't happening all the time. Was there anything
No.
that jumped out at you? Like, yeah,
When
that was the real.
When we moved from Seattle to Oakland,
Yeah.
I was already staying there with my uncle. And my mother was looking for a flat, right? And as long as she was by herself, going to the real estate people, she didn't have a problem because everybody thought she was white, because she's college educated, she's got her degrees and shit and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as we showed up with her to finalize the deal, the house was all of a sudden rented already, or, it was off the market. Yeah, that kind of shit,
Yeah.
That was in the mid 60s.
Yep.
But I mean, growing up in Seattle, from day one till like 13, you experienced it. But in the ghetto that I grew up in, it's called Yesler Terrace. It was full of European immigrants. There were more white people in the ghetto that I grew up than black people. The first Austrians that I met were in the Yesler Terrace projects. They had immigrated from Austria.
Wow.
Getting away from the war and shit.
Exactly. You would have met the immigrants that came out of World War II.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wild.
The Newbergs.
When did you actually leave the U.S.? Like when did that happen? And what was the reason for it? Like, why go?
What do you mean to
'Cause-
come to Europe?
Yeah, why'd you go to Europe?
Oh, because shit in America's too crazy, man. I mean,
course. But what was it?
drugs, guns. Ronald Reagan opened up all the crazy houses in the 70s and cut all the mental medical shit. So who wants to be there, man?
And what year is that? Because Reagan was in the 80s, right?
Yeah, he opened up the madhouses in the 80s, and it's hard to have anybody committed, and mental health care is at the bottom of the list.
Yeah. So you left the U.S. sometime in the 80s?
In 89.
In 89, okay. And where did you end up here? Did you end up in Vienna to start with, or is that where you kind of...
Yeah, I met an Austrian woman who was looking for the drum circle in Berkeley one day, where I was on my way to, on the campus at Berkeley. That every weekend they had a drumming circle. And she was walking down Telegraph Avenue carrying this strange drum that I'd never seen before. And I just pushed up on her and asked her what kind of drum that was. And she told me, and she wanted to know if I knew what the drum circle was. And I said, yeah, I'm going there. And as we talked, blah, 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 she explained this drum to me. It was a djembe. And I asked her, sort of like told her that, hey, you listening to you're from Germany, huh? She said, no, I'm from Austria. It was before the song came out, man. And she cracked me up when the song came out. That was the first.
What's the difference?
The Austrians are one shade different than the Germans. Germans are a little bit more organized.
I'm actually asking about the accent. Can never.
No, I mean from American TV and just my experience, that was a German. Anybody who sounds like that, whether you're Belgium or from Northern Vorarlberg, you're German, right?
The accents are a little bit in Vienna. They got like a nasal. It sounds like that. And then there's a Hoch German, which is a very proper. It sounds very regimented.
No offense to any Austrians out there.
No, it's Viennese actually.
No, it's Viennese actually.
Viennese. Let's make it clear. We can be offensive to Viennese, but not the rest of Austria.
But yeah, her name was Tina. She's the mother of my last boy, who is now 30.
Wow.
And she was a dancer, and I was a musician. So
I'm confused now. Like my view of you may have changed without knowing it in this interview. When you say you were on the campus of Berkeley, were you actually studying at Berkeley, or were you just like trying to pick up on girls there?
No. The first job I had when I got out of high school was on Berkeley campus. I was in the math department programming Cobalt and Fortran into computers.
Wow.
And it was boring, so I switched to the math department. To the music department.
Okay.
That's how come I got to talk shit to Lou Rawls.
Oh, nice.
No, but every Saturday and Sunday there was a drum circle on the campus.
Okay. So you meet this woman, you fall in love. Is that fair to say?
After 6 months, yeah.
After 6 months.
He was working as an au pair in San Francisco, so we hung out for 6 months.
Okay, and then
serious.
And then you decide to go move back with her to Vienna when she goes back.
Yeah, because before I met her, I had made up my mind to go to Amsterdam. Actually, I had actually got an itinerary and was going to fly to Amsterdam. But yeah, as fate would have it, I had to meet Barbara. So I had to come to Austria to meet Barbara because she was here already.
You had to go through a few relationships, I imagine, before finding her, though.
Yeah, two. Yeah, Tina and I were together long enough to make a baby. Go back to America a couple of times.
Okay.
And get a divorce.
And you got the divorce here or there?
Here.
Okay.
Here. Yeah.
Wow.
Like if you look at your
married
life,
yeah.
Like as you're speaking with Andy, it feels like you guys are really catching up, and I'm filling the gaps in here. Like if you like, you're kind of being forced to relive these moments, right? Being with us.
It's no problem though.
Yeah. But
I
how is
like
it?
remembering.
Like, if you look back in your life, because it feels like you've really fucking lived.
Uh-huh.
Like, what is the do you have any regrets if you look
Let
back?
me see. Regrets.
Something you're like, I would do this differently if I go back.
I think the second time I went to Cuba, I would have stayed there or stayed a little longer at least
Why?
because it was so fucking cool, man. The
What
people
year
was
was it?
so fucking 72, 73, sorry.
73.
Mm.
hmm
And what was going on there that made it so fantastic?
I took the Children's Brigade to the Young Pioneers Jamboree. It was held in Cuba that year, and all the Russians, all the communist, socialist countries. I mean, they don't have Boy Scouts; they have Young Pioneers, right? And this year they was having it in Cuba,
Mm.
and so we commies and socialists and badasses, we organized a cadre of American kids to participate. So we took 25 American kids to Cuba, and our kids signed a peace treaty
Mm-hmm.
with the Vietnamese kids, and it was televised all over the communist world.
72, of course. That would have been right after whatever. That was the Vietnam
I
War,
think it
right?
was 73. I think it was actually 73.
Wow.
Wow.
The first brigade I went on was 72.
Wild.
I'd have to go through some papers to see. It was either 73 or 74 because the first one was definitely 72.
Mm.
And let me see, another regret. I think I would have kept my Siemens papers a little longer just to travel for free a little more.
Yeah.
But other than that, nah.
How did you get out of the war, by the way?
Oh, now that's a story.
That's a great
When-
question.
When my number came up, me and my mother and father, we had a talk, and they decided that they didn't want me to go,
Okay.
right? So I said, okay, don't worry about it. So I took a hit, a window pane, and me and Pops got in the car. He's going to drive me to the draft board. It's about a 30-minute drive from Berkeley to Oakland. So we smoked a joint, and by the time I got there, I was like, oh. And so he said, you don't want me to go in? I said, no, it's okay, Pop, I got this. And I went in, head to toe, Black Panther Party. I go in the draft board, I go up to the desk. Guy said, get behind the line. Because they have lines, and I immediately said, what line? He said, the yellow line. I said, fuck, it looks purple to me. And he said, what? I said, you didn't hear me, fuck? I said, it looks purple to me. He said, get behind the line. I stepped back. There was a bunch of motherfuckers up in there. And I just gave him bullshit the whole time I was there. Everything. Everything. Total bullshit. I only put 2 drops of piss in the cup and told him I pissed before I left home and I didn't have no more. What you gonna do, right? So, bitch trying to take my blood, right? And she stabbed me 2 times, yeah? And I
Stab.
took the needle from her and said, bam! Because I was shooting speed at the time. So I knew, but I mean, all this to say I was still 3.5,
Yeah.
But I mean, Timothy Leary was my friend, man. We were personal friends. So it wasn't like we were out of
Yeah.
control. We were very
So
high.
how did you meet Timothy Leary? You know what Timothy Leary is, ma'am?
I'm trying to connect them.
He's the one who basically, I don't know, we wouldn't say he invented acid, but he made it. He made it
Brought it to the world.
He brought it to the world.
Yeah.
He was the one who sort of said, "This is actually a space that you can have incredible epiphanies." Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When's the
So
last time you did acid, by the way, just out of curiosity?
Oh, I guess about 3 years ago.
Okay.
But the guitar player in the rock band I was in those days was a classmate of Timothy in school,
Mm-hmm.
and they both worked at Dublin Dublin Chemicals, and so we had all kinds of stuff. It was perfect for a psychedelic rock band. And we became his house band.
Did you do actually acid with Timothy Leary? Did you get to have that experience?
Yeah, we were his house band. He used to have a club in San Francisco. He only had it for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months before they shut him down.
Uh-huh.
But he didn't have an alcohol license. He just had a cabaret license, so people could dance and you could play music in there. But he didn't serve alcohol. He just served soda. But he would put like 5 to 10 hits of good old liquid LSD 25 in the soda. And people was freaking the fuck out. They closed him down.
We've got Ron Vargas, who is one of our active listeners, and he's off the cuff. If you want to know somebody, he's from Northern Cal as well. I would actually invite him on as well, just to interact with you, because I think that you two would be like brothers from another mother.
Back to that draft story.
Yeah, please.
Draft. Yeah, I didn't piss in the cup, and I pretended like I couldn't hear. So my left ear is pretty fucked up because they turned it up to at least 8, and I'm like, I don't hear shit. What? And that was it. That was it. But I got this ear is really bad. But
so if you don't mind going deaf, you can get out of the war.
Well, I mean, you could pretend like you can't see. I did all of it, and most of it was because of the acid. When I said, "Wow, I can't see that," I think it was because shit was going like that. It's like
I find it incredible that you didn't freak out on acid in that space.
Nah. That's the thing about acid, and if you got a strong immune system, you won't get sick. If you got a strong mind, you won't freak out. I had some friends who freaked out, and one that is still out, but functional, but still way, way out.
Yeah.
But back in the he's out. I mean, he was institutionalized when they could still put people in the crazy house.
Wow.
But he's been out since, I guess, 85.
Okay.
Out means he stayed in the trip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out means he stayed in that trip.
Yeah, he stayed on the trip.
He didn't get out of it.
Much.
Wow.
And but he didn't lose his voice. He can still sing like he's got a voice that just will not quit.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. My man, Terry. Yeah, Vietnam War. Lost a couple of buddies in the war. Yeah, that was fucked up.
Rick, did I hear you right before that you were smoking and doing drugs also at home with your parents, or?
No. I only got high with my father because he smoked weed all the time. I mean,
so it would be like having a beer.
Smoking weed. No, my mother didn't allow me to smoke in the house. I could only smoke in the house when my father was home.
Okay.
He was a seaman. That's why, when he was gone, I had to do all my smoking outside. But when he came home, because he smoked in the house, it was like we were never strangers. My mother used to smoke. She stopped smoking when she decided to have babies.
Yeah.
She stopped smoking. But yeah,
There was one thing I'd love to do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'd love to play just a bit of one of the songs, one of the videos that you've got online. And the question I have for you is, you really said that you like the Who Knows from the Halpern Hendrix experiment. Is that one
that's
that, or
because it's a Buddy Miles actually wrote the song,
and
it's
I've also got the Castles Made of Sand. Which one do you feel like would be?
I like them both, but I like the beat on Who Knows.
Okay, I just like to play a bit of it just because I love actually having this experience with you.
They don't know like I know, no. They don't know what I know. Hey, what my baby put down. Say what my baby put down. I just got back in town, yeah. I just got back in town. Just got in. I'm looking for my baby. You know she's spreading magic and honey all over my bed. She got chains attached to my head. I'm talking about my baby. Have you seen my baby? I'm looking all around. What's my baby putting down? I don't know. Where did she go? I'm looking for my Sally back up in the alley.
Man, I just love it.
This band,
yeah,
this is my Lieblings band. That guitar player Laszlo, way back in the day, me and that guy and this guy Angus,
Angus.
Yeah, you remember Angus, right?
Sure.
We had a serious power rock trio together, and it broke up, and I didn't hear from Laszlo for a long time because he was actually a jazz guitarist. He's a jazz fiend, and he put together this Jimi Hendrix project because he loves Jimi Hendrix, and he got all these heavyweights to make a couple of CDs. Eddie Gomez, Brecker, Michael Brecker. I told you we got a gig in August if the quarantine lifts.
Yeah.
Got a gig with Michael Brecker. But no vocalists. They were doing all these Jimmy songs like you hearing them played. And he called me one day out of the blue and said, Rick, man, he told me about the project and he said, do you want to sing these Jimmy songs? And I said, he sent me the tapes. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? Because when we were in the rock trio doing these Hendrix tunes, we were doing them, kind of like Jimmy did them, right?
Yeah.
And, really funky. But now he's doing this jazz stuff with horns and, and I'm like, he just told me, just get in where you fit in, where you feel it.
Oh, wow.
And it works.
By the way, Ron has said, let him freestyle. Free the bird.
Who? What? Who? Ron
He's saying that we have to let you freestyle. I've never necessarily heard you freestyle, so I can't even say that's something that
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can get something current for you to listen to.
You can't just do it live for us on air. He wants you to drop some beats. That's what he's asking for right now.
Wait a minute.
So you gonna put it on something or?
Forget about it.
I was gonna say we went to Latin America. We went from, I don't know, from Jimmy to Latin America in a second. Oh yeah, but I gotta tell you, anyone who hasn't seen it, just type in Ric Toldon. There's a list of about 8 incredible songs. Like I actually got really emotional when I listened to Little Wing.
I like that one.
And it was a bit too soft, which is why I didn't play it, because after my mom died, Sting came out with his second album, and it was, I think, the last song on his second album. I think I didn't even know it was a cover. Right? It was. I was in the '80s. I was still young, so I thought he made the original. And when she's walking in the clouds like a circus mask running around or something in that area, and I'd always hear it, and I think of my own mom. You know. So when I heard you sing it, it was like, yeah, even now I can feel those emotions. It was one of the only songs that I saw that it felt connect me directly with her. Cool. So when I heard your version, it was really special.
Thank you, man. I always dedicated to my baby girl Olivia, because she always, I mean, that the line, 1,000 smiles that she gives to me for free. Yeah. And she always says, "Oh, that's okay, Daddy." Anytime I was like kind of pissed off, or she could tell I was down. Yeah. I mean, like when it's coming from a 3 or 4-year-old, it's like, and so I always dedicate this song to her. Oh, I'm getting emotional now.
Yeah. I mean, those lyrics, it might be some of the best lyrics. I mean, just so, I don't know, they're so butterflies and zebras and moonbeams and fairy tales is all
That's all she ever thinks about. That was my baby girl.
Yeah. Walking in the wind. I can't get it exactly, but insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be listening to that after we get off air. Just because
love that song.
I've been listening to a lot of Eddie Vedder as well lately. Just somehow he's been in my state of mind. Yeah. Yeah, man.
How can you tell when somebody is looking, man?
When they're looking what?
When somebody logs on.
Oh, I can tell because we have this little, it's really hard because we broadcast in a few different areas. So we'll sort of see kind of where one might be watching or where they won't, you know. I think Juliette Brickell, who you'll know from her father, obviously. Brickell, remember, he was one of our usual suspects who would sit on the sofas on Sunday nights.
Right.
We had a lot of, the characters we brought together. He was, he kind of was part of the foundation of FTV, the Fashion TV network. And then you had,
wait. There was one time, when Rob's parents came over and his in-laws and all the kids came over, and we watched that movie, that Asian movie, and they had the sex food fight scene in it.
There were some. I remember the dumbest thing I ever did on one of those. I invited a date one night, like someone who I'd never met before, like kind of on a dating site, to come to the movie night. And then basically everyone sort of examined her as if it's like, okay, who are you? What are you doing? What's your, and then it was like,
what's the 411? Wow, yeah. She got interrogated.
Yeah, she got interrogated. And the sad thing was I wasn't all that attracted to her, but she liked the group so much she wanted to become, part of the action. So it was a very uncomfortable situation afterwards. Very funny.
And Mickey.
Mickey, yes, Mickey. She's another one. I put my foot in my mouth, of course, as you know. Yeah. Gone out with somebody that I just kind of didn't know that I thought they were gay and they weren't. And then I just said, "Oh, you are gay, right?" And then I didn't realize that they weren't. So it was one of those moments to die for. One of those moments.
In Andy's defense, she looked the part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Keep in mind that we were hanging out as well, Bambos, for a while. So I didn't think she had an interest in me. I thought she just, enjoyed our company, right? So it was a double screw up on my part, but live and learn.
I doubt that seriously. She said, Mickey might be watching.
She might be, and I apologize for being such an idiot, but I am an idiot. That's okay. Yeah.
Like how has Andy changed? Like we're sitting here together, and the Andy back then. Like,
well, he's got a lot of white hair.
Have you read his book?
No, not yet. I haven't gotten it yet because I don't like Amazon.
I think we have to send.
You can get it on Barnes and Noble as well. I'll send you a copy of it.
Did you say Barnes and Nobles?
Yeah, you can get a Barnes and Noble, or you can get an audio version of it as well.
Is there Barnes and Nobles in this town? Okay.
I would really recommend you get the audio.
Bambos has listened to it 9 times now, or something like that. He's really he's my biggest fan.
Me and David.
David Kaiser is another big fan.
But besides the white hair, like, do you?
Oh, for me, he's the same guy. I mean, he's got the same personality. I mean, he's Andy. He's the Andy I know. I mean, when we hooked up in Amsterdam in December, it was like, for me, I don't know how it was for you, but for me, it was just like the day after Sunday movie night.
Yeah. I guess for me, a lot changed because when I left Vienna to come to Amsterdam, I really shifted my life dramatically. And you didn't go through those processes, right? I sold everything I owned. I lived in the attic. I just did a life do-over. I said, whatever.
The first time I saw you after,
is
when me and my son came and met that one, and you had gotten a little more stable.
Yeah, a bit more stable between those. You kind of caught me at the 2 stable marks, not that time in between, which was actually, I have to say, probably more stable than any other time because when you let your life sort of dissolve in front of you, in some ways you realize how happy and comfortable you can be in any situation.
In any situation, exactly.
So, and sort of weird is that then you build stuff again and you attach to it, and all of a sudden you have expectations, and you forget how quickly you lose peace with your, needs. Like I always sing freedom's another word for nothing left to lose,
Like that.
Yeah.
Amen. I mean,
if there was a lesson, because at your ripe old age, if you were going to go and share with other people, hey,
your kids,
what would be the life lesson you'd say, hey guys, this is what you need to know?
I already told them everything I could tell them, man.
Well, there's going to be a lot of other kids listening that haven't been able to hear them. Like, what would be the thing you'd say, guys, this is the thing I'd like for you to know?
This is what my old man told me.
Okay.
Do your thing. Learn from your mistakes and move on. Do your thing. You're going to do your thing. Whatever it is, you have to do it. And if you fuck it up, take the blame and move the fuck on. Don't wallow in it.
Yeah.
Does this mean to say that your father was doing his thing?
Yeah. He was he was a cook. He loved to cook, and he liked to be on the water. So he was a seaman my whole life. He sailed the seas.
Wow.
And
as much insight as you could think. Like, if there's anything your dad and I do in my coaching, there's no difference. Like, do whatever it is you got to do. Like, don't let your mind get in the way of it. And if you screw up, then celebrate the damn thing and move on. Because the more you wallow in it, the longer it's going to take you to get to wherever you're meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, that's not the place you're meant to be, somewhere wallowing.
Yeah. No way. And, basically you're sort of, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're getting old, but you're getting old. So, like, if you look at like your last years, right? Hopefully, many of them. How do you see like this is how I want to spend them now, and how is that different than how you've spent them until now, if at all?
Okay, the change came when I came over here. Since I've been over here, the last 30 years, I've been basically doing what I want to do, and that's being an artist. And I've gotten to the age to where, I mean, when I came here, I was hustling hard for sure. You know, I was doing a lot of gigs. I got fucking backstage passes, just a big pile of my plate in every venue in this fucking town and other places with a lot of people. And when you say you ask people, can you make a living doing that? You definitely can make a living without becoming rich and famous, but it's a job, and I like my job. And when the music fell off, I would paint more, and I've done renaissances here, art shows, and made some money. And I've taught percussion classes, and just doing what I want to do.
That's beautiful.
I haven't sold any hard drugs. I haven't robbed any banks. I haven't kidnapped anybody.
So basically,
not that I used to do those things at all.
But beautiful is that when you left the U.S., you not only left the U.S., but you decided to live the life you wanted to live it. That's what I hear.
I mean, I was living as a worker ant at home. I mean, I had a good job. I was in a strong union, and I didn't get a chance to paint or play music much. And with all the shit going on in the Bay Area, it was like, I mean, I had more of a musical career when I was living in LA County, when I was in Pasadena.
Yeah.
But still had to have a job, and the music was secondary, you know, and wasn't what I wanted, and I couldn't have it in the States. I mean, the best job I had in the States, we had a gig, this band called Sin, S-Y-N. We had a gig at the Playboy Club, and it was the best gig in my musical career. We got the gig the same day that they were auditioning Bunnies, the same day that our band auditioned. I mean, can you imagine? 3 nights a week at the Playboy Club.
Yeah, and the Playboy Club, I'm sure, doesn't exist anymore, right? I mean, that's
what, Century City? I think it's still there.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I mean, the building is still there for sure, but I don't know what's up with Playboy. But I mean, that was a great gig. We got paid well, and it was like, and I was a single guy during that time.
I love that. Basically, to some degree, you've really defined like your own life. That there's a beauty in that. Like you didn't just cower and out of fear and just find a path that suited, you know, the comfortable route, you know.
But well, I guess,
I mean, leaving America,
even if it's, I mean, in America, when I was doing what I like to do, when I got a chance to do it, because I had to do this regular work thing, it was great.
Yeah.
I didn't suffer from not doing it, you know, like because I wasn't trying to make money doing it when I was in America so much. I mean, in LA, but still, I worked at Whammo, I worked at Bethlehem Steel, I worked at Hewlett Packard.
Wow.
Always had to have a gig. You know,
it's so funny because I know you in the second phase of life, not that first phase. So when you talk about like you having real jobs and doing this stuff, like I don't see that. Like that's the first thing I don't know.
I used to ride a commute train from Pasadena to Sherman Oaks in a 3-piece suit and a briefcase, Andy.
I can't see that fit. That's like that's like seeing your parents having sex.
Isn't
like, you can't. They can't. Goes against everything I want to see in him.
Isn't that his profile picture with a kind of suit on?
Yeah, no, that was him as a fashion designer. That was someone using his image because he's got such a sweet, cool image.
Oh, you're talking about those pictures from the modeling gig I was doing?
Yeah, your modeling gig. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Well, listen, we're coming up on an hour now, so we could try to cap off at an hour because our listeners, they can barely tolerate us for that long. So we thought, like, let's make sure we at least hold one real fast.
So if the quarantine is lifted by August 5th, everybody's invited to Porgy and Bess, because we're going to be playing there, the Hopper Hendrix Experience, and our guest is going to be Michael Brecker from the fabulous Brecker Brothers.
Wow.
And should be going to be a killer show. Angus is going to be doing some numbers with us.
Wow.
And all y'all know Angus. And
You've
yeah.
got some big hitters, and that'll be in Vienna at Porgy and Bess.
Yep. 5th of August.
The 5th of August.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to Conrad at Sky Recording Studios. Homeboy got it going on over there, him and Jay.
Sweet.
And a shout out to all my kids. I love all of y'all, and I love all of y'all's kids.
Nice.
You know, I got 9 grandkids now, man.
Whew. If they only knew you the way I knew you, you know.
They probably do by now.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you, brother. I love you, and
Hey,
I'm so grateful
for
that we got to
having me,
spend this
man.
time together, man.
Take care.
Yeah.
Take care, bro.
Yeah, and we will talk again, obviously, soon. Yeah. Ciao,
Yeah,
man.
Ciao.
Yeah. All right.
That was a memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How great is that? You get to share some love with people in life that I've got to have wonderful contact with through the years. Yeah.
So what do we have on next for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, good question, Bambos. Tomorrow we've got Yasmine is on tomorrow. Your dear friend.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, Yasmine is on tomorrow.
Ah.
She's going to talk about The Death of Darkness, her film.
Yeah.
That's going to be very cool. She fundraised. I mean, I think it'll be interesting just to hear how she fundraised it. Even that will be interesting. The movie as well.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday as well, of course, we have Josina Denberger, the Ambtner, the government official who married over 3,000 couples. It'll be cool. And then we have a cancellation on Friday. Josh Whitten is not going to be with us on Friday.
Oh.
But Sonny, I can't pronounce his last name yet, but Sonny, who is basically leading the movement for Make Soil, is going to be here. And he's really a very cool individual. He's a Sikh who studied at Cambridge University in the UK. And he's got a great TED video online. You can watch it. And he's done he's one of these people that wants to change the world. And he's done really cool stuff. So even politics, like the future of politics, the video goes into that. He's tried to address education, and then he gave up on that because the system is so antiquated it couldn't even deal with his ideas. And now he's doing Make Soil. So I'm really excited to have him on.
Nice.
And
And we're going to talk to Josh another moment, I guess.
Yeah. We'll
Nice.
rebook him. Yeah. So thank you for being with us. It's another great episode of A Wonderful Chaos. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.